Hey everybody, my name is Paul Eston Jr., aka Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for HeavyGashdarn.com, baby. We're streaming live right now on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/BoyGreen25. Make sure you like the video, hit subscribe for more juicy New York Jets content. And boy, did we get a nice little nugget from NFL insider Josina Anderson live from the CBS Sports desk at the Super Bowl. And apparently the New York Jets could be involved in a surprise quarterback name. We've heard some of the ones, Aaron Rodgers or Lamar Jackson or this name or that name, but apparently a surprise name could suddenly enter the mix. Let's roll the footage. You guys can, as always, check it out on my Twitter account at BoyGreen25. But here is Josina Anderson live from the Super Bowl on a surprise could be at the Jets quarterback position.
But one of the things that I was also hearing with regards to the Jets is that they may also potentially be considering quarterbacks who are not immediately eligible for unrestricted free agency. What do I mean by that? I mean, as far as quarterbacks that may become eligible who are not necessarily known to be available or anticipated to be available at this point.
And again, if we really dive into what that could really mean for the New York Jets, are we talking about potential cap casualties at the quarterback position that we aren't seeing coming that could become available? Are we talking trade possibilities? Only God knows. But when we start to dive into the options, again, I tweeted that out. We also have an article down below with some of the top social media reactions to this report on Twitter, and people who responded to the tweet, quote, tweeted my tweet, and shared who they believe this surprise quarterback name could be. We're going to throw a couple of them out here on some of the ones that were on my Twitter account. But like I said, there's a full article below also diving into a few of these names. I will tell you first off, before we dive into those names, I would just say, when I heard that Josina Anderson report, and that's only a small clip of the full video, but I thought it was the most noteworthy, is when she said that it sounds like a surprise name. To me, Aaron Rodgers is not a surprise name. That has been connected to the Jets for weeks, if not months, potentially. Lamar Jackson, even, that has been connected to the Jets. So, to me, those names don't make sense. Derek Carr doesn't make sense because, again, it's been so public. To me, when I heard that report from Josina Anderson, I'm like, wow, that must be a surprise name, perhaps, that we're not considering. So I looked around the NFL standings and started going team by team by team, like, okay, what quarterback could she be talking about? Here are a list of names that I came up with that would be quote unquote relative surprises that really haven't gotten a lot of traction in the public eye that could make sense for the New York Jets as a surprise name. And I want to make this clear. This isn't necessarily the list of guys I would want, just surprise names that could be included in that category. Ryan Tannehill of the Tennessee Titans. Again, he's gotten some buzz among Jet fans, but not a lot, and not really a lot in the NFL overall sense as a name that could be moved ahead of the season. But depending on what this new Titans regime wants to do with a brand new general manager, he could be available potentially. A name that's a little sexier to me, Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys quarterback. Now, would the Cowboys be crazy enough with Jerry Jones to be able to move on Dak Prescott? Well, we just answered the question inside the question. Jerry Jones, of course, anything is possible. I'm a big fan of Dak Prescott. I really like the player. He could be interesting if the Cowboys choose to move on. Daniel Jones, New York Giants quarterback. I'm going to be honest, I laughed. LOL. I wrote about it in my diary. I laughed about it when Daniel Jones was selected with the 6th overall pick by the New York Giants. But quite frankly, this past season was spectacular from a touchdown to reception ratio, rushing yards, rushing attempts. Really, there's a lot to like there. Does he even reach free agency? Because right now, I think a lot of people expect at the minimum a franchise tag to be slapped on Daniel Jones. So maybe he never makes it. Another surprise name that's not getting a lot of buzz. Matthew Stafford is a wild one because Sean McVay came back to the Rams. You'd probably think that he would stick with him, but is he going to retire? What are the injury situations? There's a lot of question marks here. He's got a rocket for an arm, former Georgia product. He's a very interesting player as well. How much does he have left in the tank? Jared Goff, of course, of the Detroit Lions, former #1 pick. He actually looks pretty good with Detroit. I'd be surprised if they moved on from him. He seems like the perfect quarterback for what they're looking for. He could be a surprise name. Kirk Cousins, Jet fans' favorite, of course. Captain Kirk Cousins could obviously be in the mix. His future is up in the air with his contract. He's under contract through 2023, but what about after that? Same goes for Jameis Winston, New Orleans Saints quarterback, under contract for 2023, but they're sniffing around Derek Carr. If they bring in Derek Carr, I would imagine Winston would find his way out. And one of the big surprises, and again, these are names I came up with to try to fit the square peg into the square hole of what Josina Anderson was reporting. Kyler Murray? Now, again, there's a couple of things here. He just signed a monster deal, but there's a brand new regime, new GM, new head coach coming in for the Arizona Cardinals. So a new regime can often shake pieces free. So that's number one. So new contract, new regime. Number three in that is he tore his ACL very late in the season. When is he even going to be ready? The Jets are all in for right now. Would you sign like a Jacoby Brissett and then once Kyler Murray was ready, you go to Kyler Murray? Like that'd be kind of crazy. And I don't even know what it would take. But that's another surprise name potentially that could be in the mix. And quite frankly, my juices are titillated even considering the possibilities that could be happening at the quarterback position. I mean, what a wild offseason this is going to be for the Jets. I mean, this is absolutely exciting time. So I've dove through the comments, guys. Feel free as well to look through some of those. On some of the names I've heard people bring up, guys like Andrew Luck. He would be a guy that is not anticipated to be available. Obviously, that could suddenly be available if we're talking about that. People have brought up, Ryan Tannehill. We talked about him already here on the show. Patrick Mahomes will not be available. Sorry, Jet fans. Or Justin Herbert, for that matter. That one would be a little bit wild. But I'm seeing some of those names being thrown around. Geno Smith, again, he's not reaching free agency. That one I don't think ultimately is going to fit the bill. Davis Mills, I can't even believe someone really said Davis Mills in here. What the hell are we potentially talking about here? And you continue to look through some of these names, and they're just kind of all over the place, from Jacoby Brissett to we've mentioned Dak Prescott as a potential possibility, and there are so many other names that could potentially be in the mix. Who do you guys think the surprise guy is? Russell Wilson is what someone brought up here as another example, although that one doesn't really make me feel great. But in general, who could that guy be? Make sure you dive into the comment section below and let us know, who is this surprise quarterback? How did you interpret the Josina Anderson report? Nonetheless, it's going to be a wild offseason. Are the Jets going to figure out this quarterback situation before the new league year, which kicks off in a month's time? Are they going to figure it out after that? I don't know. It's wild times. And as always, we always talk about all the latest juicy nuggets here, of course, on Boyd Green's YouTube channel. So guys, make sure you like the video, hit subscribe down below, and let us know what you think. Again, we have a full article below with some of the top guesses on who this quarterback could be in our article. Also, you can check it out on Twitter and share your own on top of what we're doing, of course, on YouTube as well. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you next